So, how would you define a successful life, and what do you think we need to do, like, to live successful?
What is success? What is success? Tell me.
Yeah, I don't.
What is success?
I think
So I can't define a successful life unless I know what success is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I guess
What
feeling
is
proud of
success?
yourself, the self-worth. I think that's important. Feeling proud of yourself.
Yeah,
So I like
definitely.
what you told us.
I've accomplished a lot in my lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't got to Vietnam yet.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean that's what you put on your. So that was after the Korean War, right? So did you come back after the Korean War? And
Yes, I came back. I went through Fort McPherson, went through Germany for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
From there to, where did I go? Vietnam, I guess, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere along the line, I went to Vietnam.
Is that the war that you've been in?
And there I was a member of a study group on how to reduce combat losses.
So important.
And one of the problems we found out was, particularly being a helicopter pilot at that time, was that the enemy did not use tracer ammunition. Do you know what tracer ammunition is? It's bullets so designed that you can see them. They've got something on the back of them that you can see those bullets flying through the air. But the enemy did not use tracer ammunition. Now when you can see tracer ammunition, you know you're getting shot at. Well, the enemy didn't use tracer ammunition in their automatic weapons. So our helicopter pilots didn't know they were getting shot at until they were hit or it's too late. So we got our heads together and figured out, well, we got to do something. What we did was very simple. We took a microphone and taped it to the side of a helicopter. And in the cockpit, we put an amplifier and a speaker and tied it into the aircraft electrical system. So once we got that installed, I took the helicopter up. And I had an armed helicopter behind me to shoot past my airspace around my helicopter.
Test it out.
Yeah, and sure enough, that old microphone picked up those bullets flying around there, and you hear it very loud in the cockpit. Mm-hmm. So we designed the first bullet detector for helicopters.
That's amazing.
And did it work?
It worked. Yeah, the helicopter. I was flying.
Minimized lives lost.
Yeah, I was flying it, and that armed helicopter behind was shooting at the airspace around me, and that microphone picked up those bullets. You could hear them. You could hear it in the cockpit. So you knew we were getting shot at. The only problem was we didn't know what azimuth the bullets would be coming from, but they knew they were getting shot at so they could take evasive action.
Mm.
Okay?
That's great. That's really cool.
So I don't know how that developed because I rotated back to the States right after that.
Mm-hmm. What was it like being in that different environment? Because I know that was something that stood out for the Vietnam War, being in the different environment, like the tropical.
Okay. Which now? What'd you say?
What was it like being in the tropical environment in Vietnam?
Hot. Hot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hot.
It was just hard to get used to.
No. It's scary.
Mm-hmm.
Because you didn't know what was going to happen. Because
How did you guys get together, like, to gain moral support and stuff? Was there something that you did, like activities, just to, like, to relax and to boost the morale and stuff?
Okay. Well, being in a study group, I don't get involved in too deep of things like that.
Mm-hmm.
We just had our own little group and lived in a hotel. Of course, 12 days after I left the hotel, they blew it up.
Oh.
Yeah. That's the only problem we had.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
they blow up things around us.
That's a big problem.
Those little old kids would get hand grenades and throw them in our Jeeps as we went by.
Mm.
It's not a typical war. We don't have typical wars anymore.
Right.
We just don't have troops fighting troops anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrorism. Yeah.
Yes. Very underhanded.
Yeah.
My U.S. history teacher last year was involved with the military, and he went over to Afghanistan and Iraq. And he said that it was crazy how, like, you couldn't even tell, like, if a child walking by would be a threat, and that it was just so hard to live, like, paranoid like that, like, just kind of, like, looking like, around all the time and on guard. It would be crazy.
Yeah, it's a strange war.
What was it like when that ended?
Huh?
What was it like when that ended? Like, for all the people who were in the Vietnam War?
Yeah.
Were they just excited to get out of there?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Let's see. What advice do you have for younger generations about just anything?
Advice. Live each day as if it was your last day.
It's great advice. Okay. Well, is there anything else that you want to say about?
That's enough. I've talked too much.
Well, I loved meeting you, and so it's all right if I post some of this on my blog.
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And then this is just a permission form for that. Let me get a pen.
What about your retirement? When did you retire?
That's a good thing to ask.
I retired from active life 1980.
1980. Wow.
How did you decide to retire?
I was tired. No,
Done enough.
I was an instructor for 13 years.
Wow.
And I promised myself if I didn't want to go in that classroom, I'd retire. And one day I was supposed to go in and teach some flight attendants on emergency procedures and emergency equipment. I didn't want to go in that classroom. So I knew it was time to retire.
And that's when you were working for Delta, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what kind of things did you do once you retired? You talked about golf and all of that.
Yeah, I played golf, yeah.
Where did you live when you retired? Did you live in Georgia? Or?
Brittany Way. Right up here on Brittany Way, Fayetteville.
Really?
Oh, cool.
Well, I retired in East Point, but right after retired, we moved out here
Okay.
36 years ago. Okay.
So you've seen Peachtree City grow and change and Fayetteville grow.
Yes, because I was on a study. I was chairman of the building committee. I'm a member of Flat Creek Baptist Church up here.
Right.
And I was chairman, one year I was the chairman of the building committee. We had to build a new sanctuary because we were growing. And I had to have some plans on which to develop a plan to build. So I got a long-range planning study from the University of Georgia and a long-range planning study from the state. Long-range planning studies on Fayette County. At that time, Fayette County was about 70,000 people. And both long-range planning studies estimated it by year of 1990. And that's the year I was interested in. At Fayette County, we'd have around 120,000 people. So we built a sanctuary based on the percentage of growth, that our church would grow at the same rate at which the county was growing. So we built a sanctuary to seat 1,200 people, and that worked out perfectly.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was smart to look
Yeah.
at that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Okay, and then there was one question also that I remembered that I thought would be cool to ask. If you could go anywhere in the world or do anything that you wanted to, where would you go or what would you do? Do you know, like?
Oh gosh, that's not a fair question. Oh. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd say in Peachtree City.
That's a good place.
Yeah.
Nice to be happy where
Yeah.
you are.
Yeah.
That's a good answer, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm happy here.
That's great.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Of course, I lost my wife last January, so,
I'm so sorry.
and that has hurt.
Mhm.
That has hurt.
So you were married a long time.
Yeah, if she would have lived up until this April the 22nd, we would have been married 70 years.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah. Of course, I've known her ever since we were teenagers.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really inspiring. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think those are all my questions.
Uh-huh.
So.
That's enough.
Yep.
That's good.
Yeah. Wow. I've loved this. Yeah, I've learned a lot about you.